a majority of Britain's young people, get this, 54% of people have said that they do not believe that Israel should be able to exist as a state. This is according to a website called UnHerd and a poll that they have done. What do you think to this, Aaron Bastani?
I think any polling question, which is just 7 words, is problematic. I think if you had, should the state of Israel give way to a two-state solution, or should there be a unified single state encompassing both Palestinians and Israeli Jews, then that would be more interesting. I think sometimes polling, particularly with leading questions like this, can actually make a question more ambiguous rather than clarify things. I suspect many people saying that it shouldn't exist amongst that 54% simply support a two-state solution. I don't know that, of course. That's just my suspicion.
Apparently this poll as well, it also asked young Brits about their interest in different wars around the world. It found that young Brits are more interested in the war in Gaza than, for example, they are in what's happening in Ukraine, for example. Peter Hitchens, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, on the Israel thing, I think it is the inevitable result of the refusal of Israel's government to understand that it depends, the country's future existence depends on how people in the Western nations think about Israel. And the conduct of the war in the past few months has infuriated and distressed huge numbers of people who were probably previously indifferent on the subject, or may even have been in favour of Israel. I think they've done immense damage to themselves, and I can't believe that they're so foolish as to have done it. I'm not at all surprised. I think that there is a very grim future for Israel unless it finds some way of undoing the damage that it's done over the past few months. It cannot survive endlessly unless it has the support of major Western countries, and it's also losing that support in the United States, where it's completely indispensable. Aaron talks about the two-state solution. As far as I can say, a two-state solution would mean the end of Israel, because Israel would not survive a two-state solution. It's an unworkable plan which people fall back on to try and avoid discussing what else they might do. But it's not really the issue. The thing is, there are all kinds of things which people used to understand. They used to understand the reason why Israel existed in the first place, namely the unique massacre of Jews by Hitler, to which there is no parallel in human history. And the other thing was that they understood that Israel, if it wasn't strongly defended, would be destroyed by its neighbours. But these things have gone, and as a result, we have growing indifference or hostility to Israel in Western public opinion. It's very bad news.
And social media obviously plays a huge part in this. You've got that big campaign, we've discussed this before, the All Eyes on Rafah. I mean, that has become, I want to say it's become the latest thing, and that makes it sound really disrespectful. And it's not, I don't intend it in that way, because what is going on, the imagery coming out of Gaza is just beyond anything. It's horrendous. You cannot fail to be moved by that. But what I meant by my comment is I bet a lot of people are putting that as their profile, and when you ask them questions about it, they probably wouldn't know much of the detail behind it.
Well, hardly anybody knows the details behind it.
They'd want the killing to stop. And the point is, it's not stopping. It's not stopped for months. And I think what Peter said there is very astute. You cannot have members of the IDF destroying homes, putting on women's underwear, murdering children, and vast reams of this being uploaded to TikTok and to Instagram and to Telegram, and expect there to be no political overhead. Clearly, there's going to be a massive political overhead. And the point you were saying about Israel depends on Western support, that's now been forgotten by many Israeli politicians, particularly on the right. They think they can do this without the support of the US and the support of the European Union. And I suspect they're going to find out that's not the case in a very, very hard way.
Yeah, and social media, of course, many people often don't really know what to believe, because, like you say, the images are so heart-wrenching. Anyone, unless you're made of stone, you're going to be moved by what you're seeing. But some people,
but the images of the
images
of the Hamas attack in October were heart-rending as well.
Indeed.
And if Israel had left it at that and not retaliated, then I think the world might have a wholly different.
Well, as I said, this poll comes out on the website UnHerd. I think it's released tomorrow. In a separate question, these people were also asked, who do they think is more to blame for the war in Gaza? Half of the people blamed the Israeli government. A quarter said Hamas, and apparently only 19% responded all equally. There you go.